Happy Saturday, Tilray traders and investors. This is Rob with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's July 2nd. Hope you're well. My fellow Canadians, I hope you had a great Canada Day yesterday. And to our friends south of the border, hope you have a great long weekend as well and Independence Day on Monday. Just as a heads up, the stock market is closed in the US on Monday, but it's open in Canadian markets. And in today's short video, going to discuss the stock Tilray. Had quite a few requests on this one as well. I did a live stream yesterday, but it ended up going a little long, and I wanted to dedicate a specific video for Tilray, and I just did a couple other videos as well. But essentially, we have a lot of weekly bear flags on watch. Some have confirmed the weekly bear flag, insinuating more downside, and names like Tilray that have yet to confirm, but it's still a possibility. So going to discuss that, my price targets, and the measured move of what we can expect. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. You can tick the bell and we'll notify you on the next video when we go live. So taking a look at the videos that I just posted. So TrueLeaf has a weekly bear flag that confirmed, and also High Tide has a weekly bear flag on watch. We had a weekly bear flag confirm on Oxley and CGC, but TrueLeaf, CGC, Oxley have confirmed, but High Tide and Tilray have yet to confirm. But it's increasing the odds that we could see this weekly bear flag confirm, and all it means is that we're going to see probably another leg down. It's not a guarantee. The only guarantee in life is there are no guarantees. But taking a look at the weekly time frame here on Tilray, you can see here that anything under 384, that 0.32 fib on this weekly bounce was a potential weekly bear flag. All a weekly bear flag is you get this type of pull, you're consolidating. Consolidating means you're pulling back, losing the low of the previous candle. And then when you bounce, it's just the opposite. You're breaking the high of the previous candle. But we knew on this weekly bounce, anything under $3.84 USD, this is the American symbol, ticker, anything under that level at 384 was a potential weekly bear flag. We're only about little over 1.5% away from confirming this. And again, I did videos on TrueLeaf, I did videos on High Tide, Oxley, Canopy. A lot of those bear flags have already confirmed. So that's increasing the odds that we could see it confirm as well on Tilray. What do we need to do to negate it? Well, if we get above $3.84 USD, that's going to negate the odds of a weekly bear flag. What do we need to see to confirm the weekly bear flag? Well, we've got the high, the low, the lower high. The lower high is the bounce, and anything under that 384 level is just a weak bounce, right? So now from here, if we drop another 1.5% roughly, and key support there at 302. If we lose 302, we're likely targeting 225 is the measured move. The measured move, all you do is you take the pole, so you go from the high to the low, here's your flag, and then you just drag this over to the 0.382 fib, which I just did, and you can see here that gives us a measured move of about $2.25. And going back to Tilray here on the lowest level, the all-time low is at $2.43. So essentially, it's forecasting that we could potentially see a new all-time low. Does it mean that we absolutely have to get there? Absolutely not. Technical analysis is not a guarantee. It's just probabilities. So if something's saying it has a 60% chance of playing out, well, there's a 40% chance that it may not. But as long as we have that edge, that's all technical analysis is really doing, is helping us have an edge and look at the most probability, the highest probability outcome. But not only that, have a plan for both scenarios, right? And if you're looking to, I saw a couple people said they took a couple positions in Tilray last week. Well, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But if you knew that we were potentially targeting a weekly bear flag of $2.25 USD, would that have altered your purchasing plan at all? Would it be any different, right? So personally, I wanted to add Tilray last week, but because of this weekly bear flag and because of the weekly bear flags confirming across the sector, right? Tilray has yet to confirm it, but very close. TrueLeaf already confirmed it with the high, low, lower high, the flag. Then once we lost $16.35 is when we confirmed the weekly bear flag. And the target here is $13. High Tide, another name with strong fundamentals. But again, we know fundamentals don't matter in a bear market, just like TrueLeaf, right? And High Tide has a weekly bear flag with a target of about $1 here using the log scale. I don't use linear very much anymore. I really like the log. I find it more reliable. But even CGC already confirming, right? High to the low, lower high, anything under 438 was a potential weekly bear flag. We didn't even get over the 0.236 there at 395, and we're confirming, and we're likely heading down here to $2.33 on this weekly bear flag target. So again, that increases the odds when we see that across the sector, both north and south of the border. When American and Canadian MJ companies are all doing it, then we're likely going to anticipate another drop lower. So again, I wanted to buy Tilray, but I think that we could still see, just from current levels, you're looking at about another 27% of downside. Again, it doesn't mean that we have to get there. it just increases the odds that we're likely going to see more downside and another leg down. So I'll just be patient. One thing I've learned in crypto and MJ over the last 3 to 4 years, right, is that patience is a virtue, and it can always go way lower than we anticipate, right? So just not foaming, not trying to catch a falling knife, but also just dollar cost averaging. So if we do lose support there at 302 and we confirm, maybe I'll add again around 280, again around 250, and again at 225, right? I plan on entering another 2 to 3 positions on Tilray. I'm not going to, rush in. And if I end up, if this ends up not playing out to the way I expected, I'm okay with buying a little bit higher as well. We're still in weekly downtrends. We're still in monthly downtrends. On the daily time frame as well, if we just zoom in a little bit here, you can see that we were in a daily uptrend. We had the low, the high, the higher low, and higher high. What do we need to be in a daily uptrend or an uptrend in general? We need a low, a high, followed by a higher low and a higher high. What is a downtrend? It's the exact opposite. If we invert it, it's a high, low, lower high, and lower low, right? So if we invert it, essentially, we would have been in a downtrend, right? But we'll just go back to the regular scale here. But you can see here that anything above this level here at 314 was just a daily high or low. But that was our key line in the sand support. Once we lost 314, we lost the daily uptrend. And what does it mean when you lose an uptrend? It means zoom out to the higher time frame, so in this case the weekly, and watch for weekly consolidation. Again, what does weekly consolidation mean? It just means that we're losing the low of the previous weekly candle. We're still in a weekly downtrend though, with lower highs and lower lows. And at this point, we're just looking at that key support at 302. If we lose it from here, we confirm the weekly bear flag. We're expecting another leg down, and that's what we're seeing across the space. So it increases the odds. I would say it likely has about an 80% chance of playing out just based on that alone. Taking a look at the weekly macros, you can see here we're well below the 10-week moving average at 411. We did have a potential bull cross forming here on the MACD and the stochastic, which is great to see on these macros. And we've yet to really see that confirmation cross yet. So it's still bearish for the minute, but it is showing a little bit more strength than comparatively to some of our other names in the sector as well. Even though it has yet to confirm that weekly bear flag when some other names already have. We did also have a bear cross here on the 50 weekly crossing down through the 100 weekly, which is perceived as bearish. You can see here that there's not a whole lot of history established on this ticker, but generally when we see this bull cross here, when the shorter term crosses below up through the longer term time frames, that's perceived as bullish, and then when it happens the other way around, that's perceived as bearish. Bull just means things should probably go up, and bear just means that they're probably going to go down. And here's another example. You can see here we had a golden cross on the daily time frame when the 50-day moving averages crosses below up through the 200. That's called a golden cross, and likely expect a lot more upside. And look what happened. It's exactly what we got. A huge move. But then we had the opposite. What happens on the opposite? Well, then we expect more downside. This is called a death cross. And if you just exited on this bearish signal alone when the 50-day was crossing above down through the 200-day moving average, the price was sitting there around $14, right? So you would have saved yourself, I don't know the exact percentage, but just ballparking it probably about 70% of downside, right? So again, we had all the warning signals in the world, basically telling us that we're likely going to expect more downside. That's why I was hedging with a short position on the S&P 500. That's why I was also holding a ton of cash. MJ's smallest position in my investment portfolio, and that is because we're in a full-blown bear market, and we could still potentially see weekly bear flags confirm here on Tilray, and likely going to be targeting, like I said, that $2.25. I'll be staggering some buy orders. I'll be buying well before we get to that level. Again, I don't need to time the bottom. I just want to be buying near the bottom. Not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but let me know in the comments below what you're going to do. Always love hearing from you. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. I appreciate it. If you could, smash the like, help support me in the channel. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future updates. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you in the next video.